a privilege and an honor to present to you our first speaker, Deacon T.O.R. Hawkins.
Shalom, everyone. You may be seated. May the peace of Yahweh be with each and every one of you. Now, I want to start out in Proverbs, chapter 18. And this scripture talks about fools and how they don't take delight in understanding. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 2. It's on page 507. And it says, "A fool has no delight in understanding, only in expressing his own opinion." Now remember, we weren't called to the house of Yahweh to be trained to be fools. We were called to the house of Yahweh to be trained to become righteous people in the house of Yahweh. Righteous helpers to our brothers and sisters. Now, if you remember whenever Yahshua's parents were looking for him and found him in the precincts, that just shows how much he loved understanding. And if you could turn over to Luke chapter 2, verse 46 and 47, 49. It's on page 783, and it says, verse 46, it says, "Finally, after 3 days, they found him in the sacred precincts, sitting in the midst of the doctors, teachers of the laws of Yahweh, both listening to them and asking them questions." Now, what occurred is they couldn't find him, so they thought that he was with the traveling company. So then they went on a day's journey, and then they checked with all their relatives. He wasn't with them. So then they went back and searched for him 3 days. Then on the third day, they found him in the sacred precincts. Verse 47, it says, "And all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers." All who heard him. So they knew that he had understanding. They knew that he loved Yahweh. They knew that he loved understanding. And we should become the same way, to where we love Yahweh and we love understanding. Verse 49, it says, "He said to them, 'Why is it that you searched for me? Do you not know that I must be about my Father's business?'" So he's asking, why did you search for me? I could have stayed here and I could have continued to grow in the laws of Yahweh. Okay, so we need to love understanding as Yahshua did. We need to become as the Pastor Yisrayl Hawkins, who, if you remember the great Khan Shaul yesterday, he said that Pastor actually, whenever his mother was reading the scriptures to him, Pastor was explaining it to the whole family. Is that not awesome that Yahweh gave him that much understanding to explain it to his whole family? Okay. So, there's plenty of learning to do in the house of Yahweh. You don't have to go out into this world and read other books. Because whenever you don't study the house of Yahweh materials, the book of Yahweh, the books of Israel, the peaceful solution books, that's when deception starts to set in. Go out to these bookstores and you buy some worldly book and then, yeah, this really makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense if you're applying the laws of Yahweh, because only Yahweh's way is the right way, no other way. Now, if everyone could turn over to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1 through 9, it's on page 498. It says, "Hear, O children, the instruction of Yahweh. Pay attention, so you may grow in understanding. For I give you sound doctrine, so do not forsake my law." Torah, instruction, teaching. "When I was my father's son, tender and beloved in the sight of my mother, he also taught me, and said to me, 'Let your mind retain, grasp, and hold on to my words.'" And you remember what Pastor said, don't forget the teachings that he gives us, because they are living waters that we should drink. "Now, keep my laws, instructions, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth." Now, if you remember what Pastor said, whenever it says do this or don't do this, that's a command. So basically right there, you are commanded to get wisdom, to get understanding. And don't forget the ways of Yahweh. Don't forget His words that He speaks to us through the seventh Malach and through the priests. So we are being commanded to do this. It's not just, well, if you want to, you can do it. It's we're commanded. Do not forsake her, wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is the first priority. So get wisdom, and with all you have gotten, get understanding. Exalt her, wisdom, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. So if you show wisdom whenever we're out in this world, working out in this world, if we show that we do understand the laws of Yahweh, that we do have wisdom in the laws of Yahweh, people are going to look at that example that you're setting and say, this person, he doesn't make fun of me, he doesn't do anything against me, he's kind, he's respectful, and all those things. So it's going to exalt you later on. Like if you maybe start out at the bottom of the line in business, then you may be all the way up later on. So she, wisdom, now provides an ornament of beauty for your head, the kippah, and she will bestow a crown of glory upon you. Just remember that we should be like Yeshua and love understanding. Don't grasp onto it. And don't forget the words of the great pastor and overseer Yisrayl.